Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning, swung your legs over the side of the bed, stood up quickly, and suddenly felt as if the whole room had shifted around you? Maybe your head felt light. Maybe your vision dimmed for a moment. Maybe you reached for the wall, the dresser, or the edge of the bed because your balance did not feel quite right. Some people describe it as a wave. Others say it feels like the floor suddenly moved. Some feel a pounding in the chest. Some feel pressure in the head. And many older adults do exactly the same thing after that brief warning. They ignore it. They tell themselves, "I stood up too fast." They say, "I'm just tired." They think that happens sometimes. But after the age of 60, that tiny morning moment can matter far more than most people realize. Hello, I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and in today's video we're talking about the deadly 30-second morning mistake after 60. I chose that title very carefully, not to frighten you, but to wake you up to something extremely important. Because for many older adults, the first 30 seconds after getting out of bed can place a surprising amount of strain on the brain, the heart, the blood vessels, and the balance system. And if the body is already vulnerable because of dehydration, blood pressure changes, medications, poor sleep, circulation problems, or weakness, those first few seconds can become the moment where a fall happens, an injury begins, or a silent warning gets ignored again and again until something more serious develops. The mistake I'm talking about is very simple: standing up too quickly in the morning without giving your body time to adjust. Now, at first, that may sound too ordinary to be dangerous. Many people hear that and think, surely that cannot be the big issue. But once you understand what is happening inside the body during those first moments after sleep, you will see why this habit becomes more important with age, not less. Let us start with the basic biology. When you are lying down in bed, your body is in a very different position than when you are standing upright. While you are flat, gravity is not pulling blood downward through the body in the same way it does when you stand. The circulatory system is working under a different arrangement. The heart is pumping in one pattern. The blood pressure system is relatively calm. The brain is receiving blood under that resting setup. Then suddenly, many older adults do this. They sit up fast, they stand up quickly, and they start walking almost immediately. What happens next? Gravity suddenly pulls blood downward toward the legs and lower body. In a healthy, well-adapted system, the body responds quickly. Blood vessels tighten, heart rate adjusts, blood pressure shifts, the brain keeps receiving enough blood, and you remain steady. But after 60, that adjustment is often slower, weaker, or less reliable. And that is where the danger begins. The technical term many doctors use here is orthostatic hypotension, which simply means that blood pressure drops too much when moving from lying or sitting to standing. But I do not want to hide behind technical language. I want you to understand what it actually feels like in daily life. It feels like dizziness when you stand up. It feels like a moment of visual dimming. It feels like a wave of weakness. It feels like you need to hold on to something. It feels like you are not fully back in your body yet. And sometimes it feels like nothing at all, until one morning the body cannot compensate fast enough. That is why this habit becomes dangerous. Not because every quick stand is a medical emergency, but because repeated morning strain creates risk in a body that may already be less stable than it once was. Now let us talk about why this gets worse after 60. The first reason is that the blood vessels themselves often become less flexible with age. When you were younger, your blood vessels could tighten and adjust more efficiently when you stood up. They responded faster, they adapted more smoothly. But as the years pass, the system can become less responsive. The blood vessels do not always tighten as quickly as they should. That means more blood lingers in the lower body for a moment, and less reaches the brain right when the brain needs it most. The second reason is dehydration. This is one of the biggest hidden problems in older adults. Many seniors are mildly dehydrated almost every day without realizing it. They do not feel thirsty the way they used to. They drink less because they do not want to wake up during the night. They rely too much on coffee. They underestimate how much fluid the body still needs after 60. And then morning comes after 7 or 8 hours with no water at all. And they stand up in a partially dehydrated state. Now imagine what that does. If blood volume is already lower because of dehydration, and then you stand up too quickly, the system has even less support. The drop in effective brain blood flow may feel stronger. The dizziness may be worse. The body has less reserve to protect you in that transition. That is one reason so many seniors say, "I'm always worse in the morning." It is not only because they are tired. Sometimes it is because the body is dry, the blood pressure is more fragile, and the transition to standing is too abrupt. The third reason is medication. This is a very important one. Many older adults take medications that can influence blood pressure, fluid balance, heart rhythm, or circulation. Blood pressure medications, water pills, certain heart medicines, medications for prostate symptoms, some antidepressants, sleep aids, and other common prescriptions may all affect how the body responds when moving from lying down to standing. Now, let me be clear. This does not mean those medications are wrong or bad. Many are necessary and helpful. But it does mean that the body may need a more careful transition in the morning. What looked like a harmless habit at 50 may not be harmless at 70 when the system is being shaped by medications too. The fourth reason is weaker muscles. This matters more than people think. When you stand up, the muscles of the legs and core help stabilize the body. They are not just for movement. They are part of the support system that keeps you safe during positional changes. But after 60, muscle mass often declines. If the legs are weaker, balance is poorer, and circulation support from the lower body is less efficient, then standing suddenly becomes more dangerous. This is why some people do not just feel dizzy. They feel unstable. And instability is often what leads to the real-life consequence of this mistake: falls. Let us talk about that directly, because this is where the word deadly starts to make more sense. When an older adult stands too quickly, feels a wave of dizziness, and loses balance, the injury that follows is not always minor. It may be a fall into furniture, a fall in the bathroom, a fall beside the bed, a head injury, a hip fracture, a shoulder injury, a back injury, and for seniors, falls are not simple inconveniences. A fall can change the course of a life very quickly. A younger person may stumble and laugh it off. An older adult may spend months recovering, lose confidence, lose mobility, or never fully return to the same level of independence. That is why the first 30 seconds of the morning deserve more respect than most people give them. Now, here is another reason this morning mistake is so dangerous. It often hides larger problems. The dizziness itself may be warning you about something deeper. Maybe blood pressure is too low at certain times. Maybe dehydration is more serious than you thought. Maybe you are over-restricted with fluids. Maybe blood sugar is swinging overnight. Maybe you are waking with dry mouth because sleep quality is poor. Maybe the heart rhythm is not as stable as it should be. Maybe circulation is weaker. Maybe your body is already giving you warnings that no one has put together yet. This is why I always tell older adults, do not treat morning dizziness as meaningless. One episode may not mean disaster, but repeated episodes are information, and information matters. Now let us talk about the deadly part more carefully, because I do not want sensationalism. I want truth. The morning mistake itself is not magic. Standing up quickly does not automatically cause catastrophe. The danger comes from the combination of age-related blood pressure, fragility, dehydration medications, poor circulation, weak legs, poor balance, possible heart or vascular vulnerability, and repeated dismissal of early warning signs. That combination is what turns a small habit into a serious risk. And this is why the most dangerous part is often not the habit itself. It is the habit plus denial. I'm fine. It's nothing. I just got up too fast. It happens. Yes, it may happen. But why is it happening? That is the better question. Now let us go deeper into what your body is actually doing during those first 30 seconds. When you first wake up, your nervous system is still shifting from sleep mode into daytime mode. Blood pressure may still be adjusting. Hormones like cortisol are rising. The body may be slightly dehydrated. Breathing patterns may still be changing from the night. Then, if you sit up suddenly, the system gets one shock. If you stand immediately, it gets another. If you start walking before the adjustment is complete, you now have 3 layers of challenge at once: circulation, balance, and movement. That is a lot to ask from a body over 60 that may already be operating with narrower margins. Think of it like starting an old car on a cold morning. A newer, younger system may shift into gear quickly, but an older system often needs a moment. Not because it is useless, because it is different. It deserves a more intelligent start. The mistake many seniors make is treating their 70-year-old body like it should respond, like it did at 35. It may not, and it should not be expected to. This is not weakness. This is physiology. Now let us talk about the warning signs that the first 30 seconds of your morning may be more dangerous than you think. One clear warning sign is frequent dizziness on standing, not once every 6 months. I mean, repeated familiar episodes. Another is vision dimming or a gray wave over the eyes when standing. Another is needing to grab furniture when you first get up. Another is morning headaches, especially if they come with dry mouth, fatigue, or feeling unrested. That can suggest nighttime dehydration, poor breathing, or blood pressure instability. Another is heart pounding or feeling your pulse racing when you first stand. Another is feeling weak, shaky, or lightheaded after nighttime bathroom trips. This one matters a lot because many falls happen not at dawn, but during nighttime waking, when a sleepy, dehydrated, unsteady body stands too quickly in the dark. Another warning sign is feeling better after sitting back down. If symptoms improve quickly once you sit, that is a clue that the transition itself is the issue. And then there is a big one many people ignore: fear of standing up quickly. If your body has learned that standing up fast feels unsafe, that itself is information. The body remembers instability. It becomes cautious for a reason. Now let us talk about what to do instead. The solution to this dangerous morning mistake is simple, but it must be taken seriously. Stop rushing the transition from bed to standing. I want you to think of waking up as a 3-step process, not one movement. Step 1. When you wake up, do not leap up immediately. Open your eyes, orient yourself, breathe. Let the body wake. Step 2. Sit up slowly and stay seated at the edge of the bed for a few moments. Let the circulatory system begin adjusting. Let the head clear. Let the blood vessels respond. Move your feet and ankles a little if needed. This helps the lower body begin assisting circulation. Step 3. Stand up more slowly and pause once you are upright. Do not instantly start walking if the body still feels uncertain. Give the system a few seconds to stabilize before taking your first steps. This entire process may take only 20 or 30 seconds. That is why this is the 30-second morning mistake. And those seconds may protect far more than people realize. Now I want to add something else. Hydration and evening habits matter too. If you go to bed already underhydrated, your morning risk is higher. If you eat too late and sleep poorly, your morning risk is higher. If you are waking repeatedly in the night and getting poor quality sleep, your morning risk is higher. If you wake with a dry mouth every day, that matters. If you over-restrict fluids all afternoon and evening because you are afraid of the bathroom, that may help one problem, but worsen another. The body needs balance. This is why the morning mistake is not isolated from the rest of the day. It is often the morning expression of everything that happened the night before. Poor hydration, poor sleep, poor breathing, late eating, medication timing, or general physical fragility. Now let us talk about the bathroom issue, because this is where many seniors get caught. One of the most dangerous moments in senior health is the nighttime or early morning trip to the bathroom. Why? Because the body is sleepy, dry, and often disoriented. The room is darker, balance is weaker, the urge to hurry is stronger. The person stands quickly because they feel they need to get there fast. That combination, darkness, urgency, poor balance, and rapid standing, is exactly how many falls happen. So this lesson is not only for the morning wake-up. It is for every transition from lying down to standing, especially in the night or early morning. Now, what else helps besides slowing down? The first thing is hydration strategy. Not drinking huge amounts right before bed, but making sure the body is better hydrated during the day, so the morning is not beginning from a deficit. The second is leg movement before standing. Simple ankle pumps, toe flexing, calf movement while sitting on the edge of the bed can help the lower body start assisting circulation. The third is reviewing medications if dizziness is frequent. This is not something to guess at alone, but if you are having repeated morning lightheadedness, medication timing and blood pressure patterns may need review. The fourth is improving leg strength and balance over time. Stronger legs do not just help you walk better, they help protect you during transitions like getting up. The fifth is better sleep support. Poor sleep makes morning function worse. Sleep apnea, frequent waking, dry mouth, and blood pressure swings all matter here. Now let us talk about the emotional side, because this issue affects confidence more than people admit. A senior who feels dizzy each morning often starts the day with fear instead of stability. A senior who nearly falls beside the bed begins to distrust the body. A senior who has had one bathroom fall in the night never forgets it. That fear changes behavior. People move less. They become cautious. They shrink their routines. They feel older than they are. And this is why protecting those first 30 seconds matters. It is not just about avoiding a fall. It is about preserving trust. Trust in your body. Trust in your balance. Trust in your morning. That is worth protecting. Before we finish, I want to ask you something. When you first stand up in the morning, what do you feel? Nothing at all? A little dizziness? A heavy head? Dry mouth? Weak legs? Do you ever grab the wall or the furniture? Do nighttime bathroom trips feel risky? Tell me your age and where you're watching from today. And tell me honestly, have you ever had one of those moments where you stood up and immediately knew your body was not ready yet? I read your comments, and they help me understand exactly what this community is dealing with. And let me leave you with this. The body after 60 often gives warnings before it gives consequences. A brief wave of dizziness is a warning. A dimming of vision is a warning. A hand reaching for the dresser is a warning. A near fall is a warning. Do not waste those warnings, because the most dangerous morning mistake is not just standing up too fast. It is standing up too fast and learning nothing from what the body is trying to tell you. So tomorrow morning, do something different. Wake, pause, sit, breathe, move the feet, stand slowly, wait, then walk. Those few extra seconds may protect your balance, your brain, your confidence, and your independence far more than you think. I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and it has been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Respect your mornings, respect your circulation, and remember that the smallest daily habits are often the ones that protect life the most. I look forward to our next conversation. Until then, take very good care of yourself.